Welcome back to another episode of Learn with Shavern. All right, don't pardon my shirt, y'all. It's just that I got my afro like just right, and then I realized like, yo, I didn't change my shirt, so I was just like, oh, screw the shirt. All right, Happy New Year's, everybody. It's January 1st, 2019. I want to thank everybody for subscribing, liking, sharing, becoming Patreons. Today we're going to talk about how yesterday the NYPD for the first time used drones. They use drones for a very particular purpose. So if anybody was in New York City, shout out New York City. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. Shout out East New York. What the NYPD did yesterday was they used these drones for surveillance, and they used it at Times Square, where the annual ball drops every December 31st of every year, and so the first bringing in a new year. So apparently what they did was, it was, number one, I'll share the article down below, so if you guys want to read more about it, you can read about it on your own. But what they did was they got a drone. They told people that if they wanted to attend the ball dropping to leave their drones at home. They really did not encourage anybody who have their own personal drones to bring it there. They took the drone, the NYPD took the drone that they were using, and they tethered it to a building. That way, it could eliminate any concerns of the drone falling out of the air or dropping someone's head. They could escape a liability lawsuit pretty much. And then they never disclosed in the news how many drones they had, how many buildings they used, what buildings they used, and so forth. Another thing, the reason why, apparently, because, they counted like it's over 1 million people that go to New York City every year to go to Manhattan to see the ball drop. As if New York City already don't have enough people in it. Like, easy, 1 million people is nothing but a borough in New York City. For those of you who are not familiar with New York City, like, there's a lot of people. 1 million ain't nothing. That's actually a little bit of people. If that's all that's Times Square, it's really because it's like body to body. Everybody's standing like this and it's cold. But anyway, I digress. The reason I brought this up is because I do want to mention to you guys, like, if you guys have been watching my more recent videos, I've been talking a lot about technology, which is kind of funny to me because initially I started this YouTube channel as like a self-help to tell people like, hey, you should use laws of attraction to like speak positively to yourself, to love yourself, and so forth. And now I'm moving to this motion where like technology is it. And I read about technology news every day, but I didn't know you guys like technology news like that. So guess what? That's what we're going to keep sharing. If you guys want to hear about something else, you let me know. So anyhow, what's interesting about this story is that this is the first time the NYPD used these drones. Now, as I stated before, I'm from New York City, right? Shout out to Pace University. I graduated from Pace University, class of 2008. I remember when I was going to college. Now, when I graduated college, I was 20 years old. So you're talking 10 years ago, right? I was a graduate in winter class of 2008, but I walked the stage in 2009. Because I finished school a whole semester early, but whatever. Anyhow, so I remember when I was going to class, I used to leave my apartment from Brooklyn and I would go to Manhattan, and sometimes I would get stopped, right? The police would have this whole little table set up right outside the turnstiles. If any of you guys are not familiar with New York City, we got subways, right? We got trains. And when you come off the subway, there's a little turnstile that you go through. When you come out the turnstile, what the police had was they had a table set up. Now, this is all after the whole 9/11 thing, so I understood at that time where it came from. Now, in retrospect, now I'm looking at it like that was just the first step to this, what I'm going to consider extreme policing. Now, stay with me here. So back in 2005, I started college, 2006, 2007, very often this was happening. Like, these random checks would happen very often in between the boroughs coming out of the subway. It was their way of like finding Unabomers, all of that stuff. My problem with it was that I was a college student. And I was a college student, I had a little backpack on. Now, I was a little flashy when I was younger, right? I had a little Louis Vuitton backpack and matching sneakers and so forth. Because I'm a Louis Gucci type of girl. Excuse me, I said gooey, right? I'm a Louis Vuitton Gucci type of girl. So, and that was my phase back being like 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. Because as I stated, I graduated college at 20. But my book bag only had books in it because I've always been a nerd. So, all right, now, I used to get stopped coming off the subway, and I used to always be offended, Like, one of my majors at the time when I was in college, when I was in between majors, I was attempting to double major in psychology and political science. And my political science side came out of me and was like, yo, I know my rights. Why are you guys stopping me right now? Like, I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't come out suspicious. I had my headphones in. I'm walking with my eyes forward. You know, I'm not really making too much eye contact, because if you're from New York City, you already know about the eye contact thing. That's where the word on site come from, right? If y'all don't know, we invented that. Just playing. But anyhow, so, you know, I used to be offended by it. And then I'm from East New York, right? And I wasn't there my whole entire span from birth until now. But I do remember when I lived in Brownsville, we had cameras in the hood. If you guys know anything about New York City, y'all know which parts is like super hood and which parts is not. We had cameras on certain blocks. These cameras could see what, like a 10 or 20 block radius to catch crime. Now, between the random searches coming out of the subway and then the cameras in the hood, you know, I always felt like I was being watched by the NYPD. So, and I don't live in New York City now, but it's just interesting when I reflect back on what was happening then and how it's progressed to now. Now we went from random searches to cameras to now you got drones just flying around the city, just spying on me all the time. So I got no privacy now, right? I can't be minding my business nowhere outside of my house. As a matter of fact, if I'm in my house, I'm still not really minding my business, because you minding my business. Because I don't want y'all to sleep on the fact about what these drones can do. If you don't know about it, Google about it, right? Some of these drones got like thermal energy readings and all of this other good jazz. There's a lot of technology behind it. Now, it's wonderful, and as much lives as technology is saving, when do we as humans say, okay, I am going to stop sacrificing my freedom out of fear, right? And have that healthy balance of self-policing, because, you know, I'm a big advocate for going to the gun range, and having human policing, right, to technology policing us. We're only one step further from those AI robots not being the police, right? How far-fetched? That's not far-fetched at all. See how I could sit here and think of that idea, right? I don't have no degree in no metaphysics. I don't have a degree in any of that science stuff, any engineering, any artificial intelligence engineering. I don't have a degree in any of those things. I'm not an expert in that field. But just like how I'm a regular person sitting here right now in my living room telling you, yeah, they can have police robots, because I'm gonna always reference that movie I, Robot, until y'all get it, right? Until we move out of that motion and steer clear from that direction of being policed by artificial intelligence, we got a serious problem on our hands. If y'all don't see where I'm going with this, because like I said, I graduated from Pace University class of 2008, 2009. And from 2005 to 2009, during this time span, I'm being randomly searched by NYPD officers. And my backpack every single time only had books in it. Right? And then I'm going home, because at the time I could only afford, like, you know, college student, you kind of poor. Well, if you offer scholarships, then you a little bit, you know, you don't got the money to pay for college or whatever. But anyhow, I lived in a hood, which nothing's wrong with that. But in the hood, in Brooklyn, in the really bad hoods, they had cameras to monitor. So I'm being randomly searched. I'm being monitored on cameras. And thank God I don't live in New York City no more, because I probably would have been absolutely more outraged at the fact that NYPD drones are now monitoring my every movement. And I am not taking away from the see something, say something campaign, right? I understand that has saved countless of lives and it has prevented. But I want to see the true numbers on those, to be honest, on that. I really want to see the true statistics behind how much it's actually saved, or the improvement in comparison to human policing. That would be some interesting statistics to see in that observation. I'm looking at my shirt. My shirt is really wrinkled, y'all, but my fro is so much more important than this shirt. Y'all just don't know. Just being natural motion is sometimes a struggle. But Yeah, that policing thing. Please drop a comment below. I am very interested to hear what you guys have to say about policing. Do you think it's too extreme? Do you think it's fair? Do you think that it's saving millions of lives regardless of, and that you're willing to sacrifice your freedom, autonomy out of fear? Let me know what you think. I wish you guys positive blessings, peace, and prosperity. Start this January 1st off right. Have a great day, guys.